Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha Rakak Kwadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elder as well, Ahar One Ben Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. And salutations to the fellow Akim, Atwafim, and children that believe in truth and in sincerity. It's your brother, I thank y'all back to another lesson, and Yahweh Ratazah is edifying. And this is just a Twitter post, all right, that people are talking about along social media, that they're actually trying to discredit now, saying that it's a fake post and it's not nothing real, pretty much, and it has no credibility basically to it. But as you can see, the person who reposted, it's our fault now. We didn't do enough to stop them from taking the deadly jump shot. And it goes into an article by some group or company, institution called The Conversation. And they knew. Why didn't the people who not willing to do it do more to warn us, which, as the gospel says, man, this truth is to be preached throughout the four corners of the earth, and then the end shall come. Nobody's going to have an excuse to say that they haven't heard of the Israelites or the Israelite thing or Hebrew Israelites, all right? They haven't heard of World War III. They haven't heard of the MOTB being the chip. Nobody's going to be able to really say that. Why does it say, as I read the comments, it says, why does it say to be published June 6th of this year? Which, as you can see, it says, June is the 6th month of this year, as well as the 6th, and then 2023 will be of this year, which we're hoping for all prophecy to be fulfilled, for them to ultimately declare the catalyst, all right, to this thing, which is the physical device, which is the MOTB, which we believe is the chip, right? But as it says there, underneath the title of the article, all right, of course I can't read it due to the shadow banning, but it says to be published June 6, 2023, 5:07 p.m. So whether this is real or not, it's something to see. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. And we know he does a lot of predictive programming and talking subliminally through new speech, through the media. No idea. It's an Australian publication. The same people crying foul are the same people who demanded more censorship on social media and supported / took part in vicious attacks on Doc speaking out. Is on the same hands that clapped at every effort made to successfully silence those who knew better. Their own. Right. Because you have the people who don't want to hear the truth. They want you to prophesy them smooth things, deceit. Especially 2/3 of our people. They trust in oppression. But again, going back into how the people is not going to have the excuse. This Romans 1 and 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood that the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Right, without excuse. One of the things our elder like to say at this camp, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Man want to take everything unto himself and abolish and act as if there's not a higher power that exists. That's not something greater that ultimately created them, that created you. It's verse 21, because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened, right? Thinking that, ye are gods, we should die like men, as the scriptures say, but thinking that they can create as God and see eye to eye with the Heavenly Father, man, the Alpha and Omega, the I and the Tha. and play as if he doesn't exist. All right, the Lord forbid. But from there, I want to get Sirach 12 and 13, because the people have been warned. You see the prophets out there on the highways and byways, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, you have ran across this truth pertaining to who the true children of God are, being the Israelites of the Holy Bible, which this world, this society deems the minority, which really we're the majority, being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and those are the speckled bird who may look like other nations, but they bear the same spirit as a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American as such, all right, as an Israelite. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? Right, that serpent being Esau, Edom, with his deception, his deceit, trying to tell you what it is when it ain't. Verse 14, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? Right, who will pity? We told you that, you should not trust this devil. Even on his track record in the past history, and you can look it up through the circular history, not to trust this devil. Through what the Tuskegee Airmen experiment of giving and injecting Jake with disease, all right, specifically, I believe it was syphilis, so on and so forth, man, and these same people came about when this whole pandemic came about, all right. The Fauci, he was from the whole HIV and AIDS research from the 80s, things like that, it shows you that this devil is, he doesn't have any new tricks. Long as we resort to the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, we can figure our way out. So who would pity a charmer? Our people love to trust in oppression. This is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that would not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not. Unto us, right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits, right? Prophesy deceits. They don't want to hear it. They go do whatever the hell they want to do anyway. It's do as thou wilt, with that do as thou wilt spirit. Why? Because they're a part of the God of this world. They believe in the God of this world, and that's the way they live. All right, that's what they abide by versus Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai way. They don't want to know the truth. They say see not. They want to be prophesied smooth things as far as peace, but it's not going to be any peace. All right, we're at a spiritual war, and we're not to be a part. All right, you're not supposed to give your spiritual allegiance to this devil. All right, but 2/3 of our people are going to bow down, be made to bow down, and do so anyway. All right, pertaining to Romans 11 and verse 7. All right, starting off with the prayer of King David. When you go into it, in verse 10, let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back alway. All right, when you go into that bow down their back alway, this means the Lord is going to force 2/3 of our people to transgress against him, to go and do what they say they're not going to do, right? Because you even have those who name is written in the book of life who may have took the digital right, the jump shot, but by their name being written in the book of life, they're covered. All right. The Lord is going to cleanse them. He's going to heal them. But you can say, hey, I ain't going to do this. I ain't going to do that. But the Lord is going to bow down thy back always. All right. And we go into that term, bow down.
Strong's G 4781. Sugkamto. Sugkamto.
Sugkamto. G 4781. To bend together, to bend completely. To subject one to error and hardness of heart, right? He's going to harden the heart of those individuals, all right? 2/3 of our people. A figure of taken from bowing the back by captives compelled to pass under the yoke. You know, he's going to bow down your back. He's going to force you to transgress against him, man. So even though 2/3 of our people, all right, they'll say, hey, yeah, I ain't going to take that, or I take it out. The Lord is going to make you take it. The Lord is going to not have it in your heart, meaning your mind, your la'av, to take it out. You know, being a point, and it's going to lead you to what? The end all be all. Why? Because the Lord know how to deliver the godly out of temptation and deliver the wicked to condemnation, man, being the point. So, hey, ultimately, your name has to be written in the book of life, man. You know, whether you have been subject to this devil or not, and actually took the bait and got a digital you are to get no more. All right, and allow the Lord to cleanse you and heal you, man, in due time. All right, but as far as our people who take the Lord for granted, have no fear of the Lord, all right, they're going to be subject to that condemnation of going and getting the ultimate device, which is spoken of in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, man, right? So he go cause all humanity, everyone, all right, he's going to dot his I's and cross his T's upon all flesh to cause them and make it mandatory for you to go and get the actual device, you know? So again, you know, woe to them who run to Egypt for help, all right? You know, especially those who ran and took the digital all right? They're so gullible and naive that they're ultimately going to take that device, all right? And if they don't die of the famine, they don't die through Jacob's trouble, pertaining to 2/3 of our people, the wicked, all right? They'll get caught up in the second death, man, the missiles, or that grievous sore that's spoken of. This is Revelations chapter 14, verse 9 and 10. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, is poured out, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, right? And that's what the second death, you know, you'll eat a missile. You know, if you surpass all the other trials that comes to the forefront, you know. But just as, hey, you got the people now, they're dropping like flies out of nowhere. All right, they're speaking on blood clots and, you know, people going into cardiac arrests and having episodes, you know, due to that Trojan horse they putting in to the people. All right, even seen an article from Redacted pertaining to how they're trying to put. I want to be careful because they take the lessons down to the terms we use, but it was a term called mRNA, and our elder did a lesson on it a while back, and I believe it got struck down. As far as the Trojan horse, man, again, the stuff that they want to put in you, so it can attach to your cells, all right, and create a third party, being a third strand of your DNA, right? But if they take it down, we ultimately just upload it on Rumble. But pretty much you have the people just dropping like that, you know. But if you beat that, you ultimately you'll get that grievous sore, man. You'll get that cancer that's spoken of here in Revelation 16. And I start at verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast and upon which worship his image. Right, so you'll get that grievous sore, man, like a cancer. It's 2 Peter 2:9. I believe I don't know if I got it already or not, but I end off with this. It's 2 Peter 2:9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. You know, and that's just being the point. You know, we can warn them all day. All right, the wicked is not going to listen. All right, but we warn and we sound off that trumpet so everybody have their fair share at salvation. They're not going to be able to say that they haven't heard it before. You know, as well as his sheep hear his voice. So this gospel and this truth is getting preached out ultimately for those who are going to hear, is going to be of the elect, you know, who truly hear and truly sincerely hear and hope to save their souls, is going to be of the hopeful, of the elect, whose name is possibly written in the book of life. You know, and Yahweh Ratazah, we're part of that number. But, you know, hey, you got to be written in that book of life, man, to be protected, to have that shield, or ultimately you're going to fall subject to the jump shot, the digital arm, and ultimately the devices, the chips, you know, when that day come. Shalom, Mahavatha, and DTA.